Dr. Jennifer Caudle is here to share the top 5 hydrating foods that you can add, maybe consider. Good morning to you, Dr. Caudle. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
So I struggle with getting hydrated with water, right? They recommend a certain amount a day. For a lot of people, it's really hard to do that, at least consistently. Let's talk about the importance of hydration.
So hydration, honestly, is so important. Hydration is important all the time, but certainly during the summer months. And, lately we've had this sort of heat wave. It's been hot in so many parts of the country. Staying hydrated could not be more important, honestly. And I think it's really important to mention, Jeanette, you talked about it's hard to get water. And I think there are a lot of people who feel that way. We have to remember that hydration doesn't just come from drinking water. It also comes from, whether it's tea or coffee or milk, actually, and even foods, which is what we're going to talk about today.
All right, that is a relief for me. There's hope out there. So let's start with the food, some of the options that people can consider.
Yeah, so first of all, I should say that there are a number of hydrating foods. Tripped over myself there. But some of my favorites and some of the ones with top water content are watermelon. Watermelon is literally one of my favorite fruits. It's about 91% water content. Of course, you get a nice ripe one. It's nice and sweet. It's refreshing. It's great for the summertime. That's definitely one on the list. And there are a few others as well. Cucumbers. I have to say, I'm not the biggest cucumber fan, but they do have 95% water content and lots of other nutrients as well. There's also celery and lettuce, both with 95% water content. So they're going to make you and help you feel refreshed. And finally, one of my other favorites is strawberries, right? Nice and sweet as well. Strawberries have about 91% water content. Of course, this is according to the Cleveland Clinic, but all of these have other nutrients, and these are great snacks for the summertime to keep us hydrated and nourished as well.
I wonder, is there a better time of day that you suggest people take it, or a certain amount?
That's a really, really great question. So I think it's important to stay hydrated throughout the day. And one thing we should keep in mind is that if we are doing certain activities, if we're doing strenuous activities, of course, things like working out or literally doing strenuous activities, or if we are outdoors in the sun, in the heat, we're going to require more hydration and more water intake then. In terms of how much water to drink, that really depends on a number of factors. Who you are, your size, where you live, but also your underlying medical conditions. I think a lot of people don't realize this. It's not one size fits all. There are some people with certain medical problems, kidney, liver problems, heart problems, that may not be able to or shouldn't drink as much water as others. So this is where you want to check with your doctor to say, hey, what's my optimal amount of water I should be drinking?
This question I wanted to ask a professional and expert like you for a while. So when I tell people I struggle drinking water, they say, well, why don't you throw in some flavor? And they have things like that, like little bottles where you can squirt it in and get some flavor. But I kind of feel like maybe you aren't getting the most optimum water. Would you recommend that as an alternative if you want some flavored water? Is it just as good?
Well, so this is the thing. I love the fact that at the end of the day, there's still water there. That is really, really important. Now, when you talk about some of the squirt bottles, they do come in like different varieties. Some have caffeine and other substances. I'm not the biggest fan of those because actually caffeine can be dehydrating, to be honest with you. So I think it depends on what that sort of flavor is, if it's adding calories, et cetera. So we want to be very mindful of that. But, something I really do like is this idea of and I don't do this enough. I really should do this more, but having water and adding like lemon slices to give it just a little bit of flavor, or even a little bit of orange or something to make it refreshing. I think that's a really good option as well.
Okay, I love it. I know Marissa and some of my colleagues here, they kind of tote around a large container and try to drink some water throughout the day. So the point here, there's a ton of options, fruits and vegetables, one of my favorites. Hopefully someone, one of our viewers finds something that works best for them. I always tell people, follow you on Instagram, all of your social media platforms you have, and on YouTube too. You have kind of extended videos on all of this. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Caudle. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, Steve, we'll send it
Jeanette,
over to
can I give you a life hack? You can put this on your TikTok later.
What's that?
When you get your water at the restaurant, ask for extra lemons and then take the sugar from the table and make your own lemonade at the table for free.
I kind of feel like that's not as helpful.